How do linguists study tiny language dialects? Imagine trying to understand a language spoken by just a handful of people in a small village or a remote community. How do experts even begin to study such limited speech? Well, it's quite a fascinating process. Linguists and linguistic anthropologists use specific methods to document and analyze these tiny dialects. They start with fieldwork, which means they go directly to the communities where these dialects are spoken. They live among the speakers, participate in daily activities, and observe how people naturally use language in real social situations. This helps them see how dialects are used in conversations about everyday topics like family, work, or local traditions. Linguists also record these interactions using audio and video equipment. These recordings capture pronunciation, tone, and rhythm, which are essential for studying phonology, or how sounds are organized. They conduct interviews and surveys to gather more detailed information about vocabulary and grammar. Sometimes they analyze written texts like old letters, social media posts, or local stories to understand how the dialect functions across different forms of communication. Learning the dialect is a key part of the process. As linguists become more familiar with the language, they can speak it better and understand its structure more clearly. This makes their recordings and notes more accurate because they're not just translating but engaging naturally with speakers. They look at various parts of language, including how words are formed, how sentences are put together, and what meanings are conveyed. They also study how context influences what people say and how they interpret messages. Another important aspect is understanding language variation. Linguists observe how speakers switch between dialects or language varieties depending on who they are talking to or where they are. They also explore beliefs about the dialect, known as language ideologies, which shape how people use and perceive their speech. Since languages are never uniform, researchers must decide which parts of the dialect to focus on. They consider regional differences, social factors, and the specific situations in which language is used. They analyze word choices, grammatical patterns, and even how speakers present themselves through language. All of this helps reveal how dialects reflected cultural identities and social relationships. From an anthropological view, studying tiny dialects shows how language encodes cultural knowledge and worldview. It helps us see how communities negotiate their identities and maintain their traditions through language. So, in essence, linguists combine careful observation, recording, analysis, and cultural understanding to study these small but meaningful language varieties.